Can see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Probably, I think I'll just go through with you all. What are we doing in the insurance industry for? How are we collecting the data, and what are the different usage of data we are using in the industries, right? Okay. Probably I will be covering certain areas, like I will be just giving you a general introduction about the insurance, right? Okay. This is just what we have here, right? And how are we using the data in the different areas of our insurance domain, like pricing, underwriting, claims, and servicing and sales. And finally, probably what are the new trends going through happening in the insurance industry. And finally, got any clarifications related to this? I'll try to answer, right? Okay. And okay, probably I guess most of you have some form of insurance with you all, right? Okay. Generally, right, we will have around 3 to 4 type of general insurance types, right? One is for general insurance, which is covering your vehicles or your properties, or your travel insurance and all those things. And other one is group insurance, where basically the company is buying to cover your employees, right? Or it could include including their medical benefits or covering their life and all those things, right? Third is the one mainly probably most of you might be having it, right? It's either your life insurance, which is you buy for your savings and protections. It could be either a term policy, or it could be covering your whole life, or your savings and endowment. And other one is ILP, which is investment linked policies, of course, and those planning for pension planning and all those things. We have annuities and pension plans, and the health one, which is the medical policies, which could be now getting more popular in India's, right? Okay, so for all these purposes, we'll be collecting a huge set of data, uh, and uh, and and from there we will make decisions. Because for us, so as to speak, right, for pricing itself, it is like we are not sending any physical objects or physical product to sell, right? Everything is based on data and probabilities to decide how we come to a pricing and all those things. So we rely on a huge set of data to come to any decisions of the pricing, all the ways to claims, right? Okay. So uh, from here, probably what we have is, right, we have two type of data properties here. We, of course, we have raw data, which is sitting in our unprocessed data sitting in our data warehouse, our data lake. And from there, of course, we have processed data for our data lake, right? I think since you all from data science, I don't need to go into the details of how what is all those various properties of the data inside. Do I need to go in, or you are familiar with all those various properties of data, big datas?
I think if you should give us a little extra explanation, that would be great.
All right. Okay. All right. So for us, right? See, basically, for us, medical data and the claim data is mainly playing a huge role in the insurance industry, right? Of course, the pricing, for the pricing purpose, we need a lot of general data available for us to decide, right? So we have a huge volume. Okay, so we have a huge volume of data that coming in either from our sales process, or from our claims process, or from underwriting process, right? It could be coming in different forms. It could be as process data or readable data, or could be in the image forms, right? Because for when we ask for medical evidences and everything, it could be mainly coming in the PDFs, or image data, or doctor handwritten documents and everything. So we have a huge challenge in getting this data getting into a readable format, right? So we will be receiving, a lot of varieties of data, and of course the variability of the data as well. It could be in different languages, especially we are in Singapore, like it's a multinational country, right? We'll be receiving in different languages, as well as it could be in the a different format as well, right? So we'll be like, huge volume of data keep coming into us, and of course the velocity of coming also nowadays with the whole set of digitalization, right? Huge volume of data every day keep coming in, right? And of course it could be a structured data or unstructured data coming in. And of course the main thing is the veracity, right? No point I'm having all this data, but if it is, I'm not able to make meaning of it, and I'm not able to use it accurately, and if I'm not able to see whether this data is truthful, or how make meaning out of this data. Obviously, having all this data is not any use for me, for industry, right? So our main challenge is this veracity, and that how we create the handle the variability data and create value out of it, and create a visibility for our business users to see, okay, this is what we have, this is what happening, and how do we move forward, right? Okay, so probably I will be going through that main main area here, how purposely what's the purpose, and what are the main areas we are doing using the data in our insurance industry, right? All right. Okay, where we are using the data. Okay, mainly for pricing, as I said, like I'm not selling any physical product, right? I'm not selling uh, anything physically. I don't have a manufacturing unit or something to say that, okay, this is my factory price to manufacture this product, right? So this is my end product is going to look like. So if I want to produce thousands of, say, for washing machine, this is my cost going to be. So when I want to sell with my price, I can sell on this price with my profit. All this for pricing purpose, I would rely on the data, which I will go into details on the next slide, right? Where especially underwriting. Underwriting is before I decide to cover a particular person, or let's say I want to, okay, decide cover this property, or cover this motorcycle, or so as to speak, cover this person. I need to evaluate what is the risk involved for the company, by underwriting or covering this person, right? That is where the underwriting process will come in, right? And other one is the claims, of course. I claims in the sense, of course, the main, as a customer, your main purpose is, of course, anything un, un unexpected happen, you want yourself to be covered. That's the main purpose of buying the insurance, right? Whereas, of course, if as a company, if we keep on paying whatever the claims comes in, obviously the price has to shoot up, and I need to balance between how do I do the pricing, and how the claims can be approved, right? All this has to be coming, of course, in the sales process, and the policy servicing, right? Policy servicing also will be using it, right? How are we using it for? Of course, descriptive analysis, looking at the data, what information it is giving to me, and why I'm getting this certain scenarios very frequently. That is where we go into diagnostic analysis, right? And from there, whether I'm able to predict certain things, and or for this period, maybe this product is moving, or certain age, this age, maybe in this age group, maybe predictively we might have this kind of risk coming in, and all those things. And obviously prescriptive, so how I can avoid it, or how I make use of the data coming into me to make a better decision for the company, and tell them, okay, looking at this data, I would see, maybe we can go on this basis, or this might be a better option for us to follow, right? Probably then from here I'll go into each items into more details, all right? Okay, pricing, as I said, uh, we are all along, even before the data science getting more famous or no more coming to trend, insurance pricing rely on the all the data predictive, because we are it's like how do I say, it is like a calculative model, or it is a prediction we have to make, or we have to make to decide the pricing of the pricing of this coverage, right? Okay, assuming that I'm selling a life insurance product, or we are going to sell this, let's say, car insurance, right? How I predict the price, or how do I predict? Okay, how much I need to cover this person? What is the sum assured I'm going to cover this person, or and how much I'm going to price this person, right? So for all this purpose, I need to have a huge set of data. Of course, the pricing can be go based on age, because if you buy, there could be certain products, it could be always level pricing. That means, right, the earlier you buy, it is cheaper, it is going to be for you, then subsequently, right, it will be like the same price going forward. Whereas when come for a medical product, as you all know, the older you get, right, the your chances of your reaching or hitting any medical conditions is higher. So the price has to keep on increasing upon your age or gender, or how long you're buying, based on your smoking, and and the mortality rate. Mortality rate is the uh, anyone heard this term before? What is mortality rate? Mortality rate is it's like if I cover 1,000 persons, right? What is the death rate expected out of this 1,000%? That means uh, country to country, right? There could be a different variety of different mortality rate will be there. So this is one of the main data we use to decide what is the premium for this person, right? Mortality rate varies from country to country, even city to city, it varies, right? Last time the old model is, right, we will probably, it could be same price for everyone, or either we just vary by gender, or okay, maybe female male price is this much, or female price is this much. But as a trend, as we improve on our technology, we know that probably for this country, this is the mortality rate we know. And within these countries, say big countries like India and China, it could be your city's mortality rate might be different from your suburban mortality rate, right? It could be because of the air quality could be different, or your number of vehicles and accident rate also different, right? So it could be, we might have different mortality rate, and based on that, right, nowadays it's not like probably I'm not very sure how it is priced in India, whereas come for other nations, right, in based on cities they are residing, based on the we are varying the price. These are the new trends coming in, right? And as I said, old model is, before the we have the detailed data science or data models in place. We'll be using the one model for everyone for the pricing purpose. Whereas now, with the data coming in, we are able to zoom into each city levels to see, how and what is the rate. Are we able to give different rate for different cities? I mean, these are the new trends and new variations of the pricing coming in. All this happens because of the details of data we have with us now, right? And of course, new trends is like, GI, for example, general insurance. Last time it could be, I'll be pricing for the same, let's say, I will be pricing it for the same price for all same type of cars, right? Now we are even using the devices looking into the driving, the driving pattern, and of course what is his general distance he's traveling, right? Let's say this person is traveling regularly almost 5 days. Just morning he's traveling to office and evening coming back, and he's always taking a very safe highway to drive. No point, charging him a higher price as a normal price. If I know his driving pattern, we are trying to know we are trying to be more flexible by looking into more details of that person, his driving pattern, or could be the type of vehicle he's using, you know, and it could be like his lifestyle. Okay, I mean, when we come for life insurance, of course, his lifestyles make different, right? A person is almost, let's say, his occupation is a desk bound or IT worker. He's going to spend 8 hours in the office, and it is a safe place. Consider to who is on the road, like a driver, or maybe in a high risk, like. It could be a military worker working in mines, or his lifestyle could be like scuba diver, or all this make differences now, right? So we are going to collecting all these details of data to decide, so your occupation last time could be, we don't zoom into the occupations that details. Now we zoom into the occupation, even within the occupation itself, right? We having in the more subclasses to make our price more attractive, right? If I'm making a general price for everyone, obviously my product is not attractive and competitive in the market, right? So we are, this kind of data started collecting. Yeah, this is the new ways of, on we are going into your lifestyle. You could have seen now a lot of the health devices coming in to monitor how long you're, how many steps you are walking and all those things, right? In fact, to keep our price lower now, the insurance company itself is, giving this kind of devices to the our customers to keep them more active. Based on that, the more active you are, your price will be cheaper, or you might have a premium discounts, right? These are the ways of going. This giving us two ways of benefits. One is, obviously I know this person is doing more healthy and more active. Obviously my coverage risk is going to be lesser, and I can give you more discounts, right? These are the new trends. Based on the data, these are the new trends we are introducing into the pricing model now, right? And even, and other one is the valuation of my business, right? You see, uh, if I buy a life insurance policy, you buy a life insurance policy, right? The risk for uh, uh, the company is always there. Like assuming you are buying an insurance policy for 5 lakhs, probably the premium you are paying per year could be maybe 1,000 rupees per year or something, right? How I'm going to cover this person for, with a 1,000 rupees with the 5 lakhs, right? So it's a probability coming into picture, right? That is where my mortality rate need to come into picture. So the higher the volume I'm covering, the pricing can be cheaper, right? That is one. So now how I decide my profitability, my company, right? So I need to decide what is my valuation of my company. This with this premium, how much income I'm able to generate over the years, right? So that is where the actuarial teams, come into picture to decide valuation of my business and all those things, right? So mainly for the actuarials to come out with the pricing and the valuation of the company also, you are using the huge data of data, right? Yeah. Okay. Of course, risk. As I just now I said, we can't keep the risk of covering, the like we try to distribute the risk. That means, as we cover, let's say I'm covering 1 lakh person for 1 lakh of person for like 5 lakhs each, right? It could be billions of rupees I'm covering. As a company alone, I can't take this risk. I mean, as one company, we maybe financially it's not viable for us to cover this risk, even though how much premium we are collecting, what's the premium valuation I have, right? So we do reinsure. There could be other bigger companies which are willing to share the risk with us, right? So we take this whole bunch of risk. We also share the risk with other companies, right? So that is where also the valuations will come into picture, right? Right, underwriting. Underwriting, okay, the very challenging for insurance is right. Even though we are in the financial industry, we are using the data for a very long period for our pricing purpose, right? If you take out any financial industries, right, insurance industry is the one you could say using the, digital come for digital automation, which is the least automated. One of the reason is this one, underwriting, right? Underwriting purpose is right. See, underwriting purpose, like you all traditionally know, when you want to buy a life insurance policy, obviously you need to go for a medical assessment, right, to decide whether you have any pre-existing conditions, right? Or if you have pre-existing condition, obviously I have a risk to cover. Upfront, I already know I'm having a risk, right? So for all this, right, when I send for medical assessment or everything, obviously the doctors, every doctor will be giving his own assessment. It could be not coming in a very organized form back to me to decide, extract the data and straight away doing the underwriting, right? So this is where we have a huge challenge. We are trying to automate how I can get these medical reports coming to me and extract this data. We'll be using our OCR functions or any other analytic purposes to extract the data and decide whether we can do auto underwriting, how much we can automate, and even we have tele underwritings or whatever, right? At this point, if you ask me, I would say only 60 to 70% I can do auto underwriting because of the volume of data coming in, variety of data coming in, and it is not coming in any order purpose, any organized manner, right? It is not a readable data coming, reaching out to me. It could be, most of the time, it could be a digital image reaching out to us, right? So based on this, I need to take a decision. Either, of course, manually taking a decision is easy, but manually we are not offered to have manpower to do all this one by screen through all this data one by one. That is where we need to see how I can get this data extracted out and feed to my underwriting engine to decide the pricing, right? So from here we will see, okay, based on this, we will use, right, okay, this person's BMI info. BMI is, you all know, right? You are based on your height, weight, all those things. We straight away know that what is the risk of this person with this BMI. So there could be based on his BMI, there could be a different predictive and analysis data will come in, and sorry, right? So here we have a whole set of risk data. We have that industry-wide risk data based on their the symptoms of the health data coming to us. We will decide whether this person need to be covered, or we are using our underwriting engines. We have various underwriting engines to decide based on this, right? We feed to it, it decide the rules based on the medical data. I decide the rules whether if you want to cover this person, what are the risks the company is going to take, and based on that, what could be whether we need to cover, whether we really need to cover. If need to cover, what is the additional pricing or additional precaution the companies need to take, right? So underwriting rule engines, we collect your person, the person who is covering that person's data, as well as we have an industry-wide, our descriptive data is available for us, right? That is where we'll be using. Of course, comfort claims. This is another area challenging the insurance industry from digitalization, right? It's the same thing, right? When my medical data comes into us, or any medical data coming to us, right? It is not in a very uh, RDMS format or whatever readable format, right? It is, most of the time it will be image, unless it is coming from a panel of clinics, which we have a direct link to them. They will be pumping us the data, right? Other thing is there is a challenge for us is, right, looking into this medical data and coming to analysis and decide whether this claim is payable or not, right? If I put a medical underwriter looking at this data and deciding the decisions, it could be like, he might be spending 2 to 3 days and calling for additional infos and everything. probably it could be a minor accident cover. I'm just covering, the medical bill could be less than say 2,000 rupees, right? So there are some predictive ways we decide. Okay, this is it comes in. I don't even want to look into his, the decisions from the hospital, his the analysis report from the hospital. Rather, we put our STP engine to decide. Okay, this is the common image coming in. If less than predictive, less than a certain amount, I don't even want to look into the medical reports and put a manual person look into it. Rather, we do a straight away process it and approve it. This is because it's the manpower versus the cost of looking into it, right? Right. So this is where also we'll be using this. Of course, if you want diagnostic details right now, we actually the insurance industry and medical industry will be working together. We will have a lot of medical codes being analyzed, right? Because like as a surgery could be a different certain different group of different variety of surgeries happening. But for me to feed in this data into our claim processing claims rules engine to decide and come to a decision, rather than it is coming to me in a descriptive format, they can give us a certain each medical conditions. It could be a certain codes or recognizable codes can be introduced. It could be easier. So countries like Singapore, obviously, I would say now 70 to 80% data are pumped in from the hospitals directly to the claims processing insurance company. That is where we are able to come to a decision very fast, right? And this is where as a company, of course, sales is important, but obviously you will be surviving because if you're approving or how much for how fast you're approving the claims. When the customer is need, how fast you are reaching out to the customer, right? And then that is where you are making a difference in the industry, right? So for us, right, we try to if possible we try to approve the claims within 24 hours of submission to us, or right. So that is where we will try to have a huge uh, OCR readings, or how do I interpret these images, or the data comes in, and using our rule engines to decide, right, and to see how I can pump in this based on make use of this data to come to a conclusion, rather than going for a manual conclusion of decision and making the claims. Because the person submitting the claims, he's in need of money, right? If the more I'm sitting on the decision, obviously I'm going to upset the customer, right? So this is where as an IT person, I need to work with the user to decide, okay, these are the certain patterns I can see, and based on this, in the past, this is a decision we have taken, can we automate the decision, right? So all this will feed into our claims rule engine, and we will be making the decisions too, so that at least my 40 to 50% of the claims can be automated using the data, and the remaining maybe our existing staffs can look into it, right? And of course, the sales process is something obviously buying. If anyone any insurance agent approach you to buy a insurance policy, you might not be interested in buying insurance from this person, right? Because which is something, so we need to have a way to say that it's rather than pushing an insurance product to the person, right? We must closely we need to know his life cycle changes of the person. So we try to cover the person from the early stage, and obviously we have try to predict predictive analysis to see, okay, what is the life cycle change this person going through, probably when we have to approach him, or when our FAs or our digital platform need to approach him for a next product. Probably maybe he's getting married, or his son might be, his children might be reaching the school, and at a certain age, we'll be trying to, or we have to prepare for his early retirement. So when the customer move into our digital platforms, right, like whether our sales, our servicing portals, or our mobile apps, he can predictively can see what is the next best action he could do for us, And of course, we need to have in a better way, is rather than, we should not be seen as a sales platform or a sales company here. Rather, we should be seen as a person traveling with them in their financial needs, and in their in their unexpected moments. They are relying on us to travel with them and guiding them how to face that situation, right? Mainly when it is claims, or when he's in a financial challenges, like when he's reaching a retirement, or his son reaching a college, he might need a huge amount of money. So all these areas, right? That is where we need to guide him. Okay, these are your financial need throughout your life. You might, for a normal person, right, as of what is your family coverage you might require. So we'll be doing that, their next best actions for them whenever they, based on their life cycle changes, right? Of course, now there are huge challenges here. Is like, as I said, I can't be fitting the same business model for everyone. Now everyone's need is different, right? So we really need their current situation to decide what is the next data, next probable action for them. Of course, as I said, consumer behavior also changing. Consumers are also like, well, there are few models we can see in the consumer models, right? Okay, one is economical models. That is generic public's decision, right? Based on the price, I will decide, or okay, I need this much for my son's education. Maybe 20 years down the road, I need this much money, right? Obviously, if I'm going to say the pricing going to be this much, obviously, the main decision maker could be, in generally, could be an economic model. So the more competitive you are, the your possibility of selling is higher, right? So it's an economic model. Learning model could be, people trying to explore various areas, and or they want to learn together from us, from a financial advisors, to see, okay, what I could do. And of course, the psychoanalytical models, and the sociological model is, it's like, your society is influence you, right? Based on, like, basically, my neighbor is having it, or my colleague is having it, and based on that you're trying to make decisions, right? So all this, we need to consider the customer's behavior, and based on that we need to decide what kind of product we can recommend for this person, right? Okay. And influential marketing, of course, selling products. Nowadays you would see your media influence of the social media is too high, right? uh, yeah, it could be, one simple complaint on Facebook, or your web page could be causing a huge damage for your company's reputation, right? So we need to be our, either our parts or our customer service executives need to be very careful on what is about us and the marketing. What is people talking about us in the marketing, and um, based on that we have to use the right influencers to decide our marketing purpose, right? We do use the social media data to see, like, what is happening in the market, what's the trend, and based on that we will come to some kind of conclusions. For example, if say it is an economy, okay, economical situations might make decision, make based on that we may need to launch different type of products, right? For example, I mean, last 2 years you all know that, economy is downtrend, whereas, investing in insurance at this time could be, probably is the safest place to invest, because the fluctuation will be very low compared to investing in industry, investing in the share markets, right? So you might think, actually, something very unexpected or unpredicted we realize is, right, last 2 years we thought we are going to face a very challenging marketing conditions, but it is actually what we see is a reverse. We sell more insurance compared to 2019 over 2020, right? That is because our simple endowment products, which people think that is more safer than investing in a very fluctuating in the financial industry, right? Yeah. So sometime looking at the social medias and trends, we do decide what kind of products to launch. Right? Yeah. Of course, your pricing, as I said, right, the consumer behaviors, like the once the moment uh, you are looking into a pricing or your product features, he might have taken his decisions of 50% of decision he would have already taken to decide, right? So the first impression is you have to be very impactful impression you have to make. So you have to keep revising your product features based on what's happening in the market. You can't be using the same pricing models or same logic applied to everyone. That all gone already. The more data you have, the people try to vary in the market. So the first impression, the one you want to make, like, it has to be very impactful. So they rely on the company. Okay, they have to make, okay, if I go to this company, I'm sure they are not they are not taking us for a ride, or they are not here to make money out of us. Rather, they will be traveling together with us throughout our life. And when I'm in need, they will be coming to us. Right? So the first impression, your first product feature, that makes a difference of the during the sales process, right? Yeah. Okay, servicing. Uh, Servicing, what we do, right? Yeah, we of course we keep monitoring all of our high level volume of transactions coming in, right? And if I look into my data, I would say certain transaction, for example, the payment premium collections, or it could be changing of my credit card to one credit card to another card, or changing my gyro account from one account to another account. All this you should be able to do automatically. Now, so we will keep monitoring our transaction. What is the manual transactions coming in? What is our volume? So we will try to make it a self-servicing platform for the customers to come in, right? So based on our current trend of data, what we are looking into is, like, if I manage to automate my top 10 transactions, right, 50% of my servicing can be automated, right? We are in the process of doing it. So last time, probably, we don't in depth look into all this kind of data to see what can be automated, because insurance industry traditionally, it stay behind and being a manual handled platform, because each customer request might be different. But uh, recently, only maybe last 2 to 3 years, we are trying to automate all our transactions, like, probably it's a very unique, because it's I'm covering you for life, so second year maybe you want to say, I want to take some money out of my insurance product. Another person come and say, no, yeah, I want to change my account details from here to another one. Another one might say, I want to do a nomination. So the variety of requests coming in could be very different. So all along people thought, we won't be able to automate. Rather, we continue with nobody is challenging the status quo until we go into in-depth of data analytics. Now, right, we are in the process of doing it. And last 2 to 3 years only, insurance industry is very active. All along, only the sales industry, sales portion is automated, whereas come for servicing, it was still a very manual process. Whereas you take last 2 to 3 years, right, we are mainly into this. So as I said, looking at my data, uh, if I can automate my top 10 volume transactions, right, it could be 50% of my transactions can be automated, right? Yeah. That's why we are looking into it. Another one, yeah, with this digitalization, right? Because whatever new technology is there, your banking industry and insurance industry, which still relying on your mainframe data, may very much 40 to 50% our data is still relying on mainframes, right? So your batch volume will be very high. Like for example, even small country like Singapore, right? I'll be my regular premium collection. That means my transaction to banks to collect premium is like almost like 100K, which is almost 1 lakh of transactions I need to transmit to bank to collect, right? So for all this, normally we are doing a day end as a batch job. So our current situation is, right. Of course, insurance, as I said, unlike ATM machines, you need to be no need to be 24/7 availability. But with this mobile and digital platform, now my sales can happen 24/7. So this is throwing a challenge for us, right? So how I make it available? One is, of course, I need to digitalize all my services, and looking at the data, I look into I need to apply a lot of pods, or or digitalize my services to reduce my batch stop time, and making availability for 24/7, right? At this point, after we re-look into our current process, yeah, it is possible. Probably, you ask me, still people might think, who is going to buy the insurance policy at night? But we are seeing people buying at night now, right? So all these are the challenges we are facing, and getting the uh, making the system available by 24/7. That's another challenge we're having. And pod versus human, right? Of course, sales process you can put in a pod. It's not a problem. Because you are going to buy, I know what is the product feature I have, so I'm able to recommend to him accordingly. Whereas come for claims, each claims is different, each person's need is different. Like most of the time when come for life claims, right, the person claiming might be, assuming it is a death claim, the person claiming must be someone on behalf of that person, right? So he might not even know the what is the product feature the person who passed away bought, right? So, like putting a part there could be a very challenging for us. So we might need to put in a human there to support, and of course we need to have a huge set of helping data for us, right? Yeah. Another is the contact center automations, right? The person on call, when a person on call, for example, insurance industry's challenges, right? As I said just now, the type of data we are, type of insurance we have. We have general insurance, medical insurance, and life insurance on high level, three type of insurance, right? All these three, at this point, right, any one insurance application won't support. At least you will have a 3 to 4 insurance application need to support it, right? I mean core application need to support this kind of a different type of products, right? Whereas customer is on call, I can't expect my customer service executive looking into uh, 4 or 5 different systems to service this customer, right? So that is where we need to. Another challenge is how do I create this 360 view of data for this customer into my CRM, right? So as I said, I'm having a 4 to 5 core applications. Each one might be having a different set of data about this customer. How do I consolidate and make it available for this customer service executive to answer this customer the moment the customer call in, right? We do put in IVRs, voice recorder, right? Um, Obviously, countries like mm, Singapore, at least we are using 3 official languages: English, Tamil, and Chinese, and of course Malay, right? And so we need to be, of course, I mean, most of the time, most people understand English here, but there could be some customers coming in. So my chat box or my voice solutions, right, should be able to answer in multiple languages, right? Of course, the risk. I need to be mindful of the risk our company is taking. insurance industry is one of the industry where people try to use for money laundering purpose, right? Because you can buy a single premium policy and 5 days down the road you can surrender your money can easily from black money it can be become official money, right? So we do on the back end screening, we do a lot of back end screening before every sales process or before every payment we make, right? We do ensure that this person is not listed financially risk customer anywhere. So each process we do a huge set of backend screening of the customers, right? And of course I need to so for the money laundering purpose it's a huge risk for us, right? We do a lot of screening at the back end. We subscribe to a lot of risk data available in the market, and we do a backend scanning against that one before accepting the customer or before making the payment to the customer, right? Other one is the data protection and safe discarding. Obviously, countries like Singapore, it is very risk, very how do I say the our fines could be in millions for losing the data, right? So how protect our data, and how are we discarding it, and is also very important thing we need to think over, right? So first, what we do is, right, uh, as long as this customer is not active with us for more than 7 years, we should not keep his data with us. His data should be totally discarded, and including his ICs and everything has to be removed from my system. Other one, you are an active customer. Any point of time you call us, I should be able to tell you how am I using your data. Am I sharing this data with my third-party salesperson, or in case he requests, okay, I do not want to continue with us, and I should be able to delete this data from wherever I shared with third parties within say 30 days of notice period. So uh, where am I keeping the data, how am I sharing the data, all this has to be traceable for me, and should be removable within a certain period of notice. That is also important for us, right? So yeah, that's just what I was saying, where am I using my data, right? And how am I storing, and provision, right? Who can access and how this data being accessed is important, right? And process, how is it being processed, and what is my collection process, storing process, and usage process, right? And all these other five main elements of the data strategies we need to have. All this, right? We do practice this, and every 6 months we have to test and ensure that our systems are ready to uh, adopt, destroy, like the customer requested to delete his data, we're able to delete it safely. And if he requests that where is it stored, and I'm going to be able to extract it as well, right? If violation, or if I am not able to do this, it could be ending up with a huge regulatory violation, and our company reputation could be at risk. Not only our financial risk, our company reputation could be at risk as well, right? Okay, probably I go into the new trends of the data, right? And now the customers are more demanding. As I said, just now I was saying, right, we have 4 or 5 core applications within the company, right? The questions now being thrown to us is, I'm buying policy from you. Why should I have 5 different policies with you? Why don't you combine them together and sell it to me as one product? Anyway, I'm buying policy from you, right? I'm relying on you as a company. I'm trusting on relying on you. Why are you giving me 5 different products? Why can't you, match them together and sell to me as one product, rather than I remember to pay premium for you 5 times, or I remember 5 different product names or whatever. So all these are the new trends coming in. There are new omni channels. I don't know whether you countries like India, right, you can look into Ditto Insurance, which is a new digital insurance there, which is who is trying to make a difference in India now, right? New omni channels coming in. Like you could see nowadays, you can buy premiums from whenever, like you book a taxi, also you can buy a policy, right? That the traveling period can be covered for your risk. You are traveling by train, or of course you are covered now, right? So these are the new trends coming in. Even your packages can be like means you are buying a product from Amazon, so the delivery period could in between it could be destroyed, or it could be broken or whatever. It can be covered. So there are new omni channels coming in, and which is challenging the traditional insurance, right? So we have to keep up to it, and it's no more covering only your life, your your property or your motor. It is covering every aspect of it now, right? Like as I said, companies like Ditto or even Amazon, or those, right, they started selling insurance. There's no more face to face. You know, it is becoming a direct sale platform, right? And embedded insurance, right? Yeah, as I said, why should I buy uh, separately, right? You are asking me to buy different products. You are an insurance company who should package for me together. This is the challenge insurance company is facing. But regulatory wise, regulator will say, no, you should not mix up your uh, your life insurance coverage with the general insurance coverage, right? But as a customer, they might be saying that's your problem. But for me, I just, why don't you compare me your products together and try to package for me. So that is where we are in industry is changing from product centric to a customer centric now. uh, know your customer and package for him what he need, right? This is another challenge we are facing now. Of course, we are virtual advisors coming in the pictures now. And some mega trends is, right, okay, what are the trends we are analyzing from the data? Obviously, you all know our healthcare costs keep increasing, right? This is a real challenge. Of course, the uh, how insurance company can survive, or how I can price it. I mean, rather than the company survive. See, you are buying the policy for covering your medical expenses, right? The medical expenses keep going higher and higher. Obviously, the product of your uh, premium will keep going higher and higher, right? Obviously, it become not affordable. So there must be a balance need to come into picture, right? So lot of governments started interfering into it, and they are prescribing to the insurance companies. No, no, you can't keep increasing it. The price keep on increasing, it become not affordable. It will become a social problem, because if let's say the 50% of the people are not covered by medical insurance, it become a challenge for the government, right? Government has to do something about it, right? So that is where this is one of the huge challenge coming in. Other thing is increase in average life expectancy, right? Nowadays, you all know, like countries like India could be now average life expectancy maybe 67 to 70, whereas countries like Singapore it is reaching 80, right? So unlike last time, if the company is selling an insurance product, it could be average we're covering for 60 years, so we can price accordingly. Now we know that this person is going to live on average up to 80 years, so we have to price accordingly as well as. And the longer you live, the older you are, you are going to face a lot of medical challenges. So all this need to consider in the picture, right? These are the new trends we are seeing. And other one is yeah, the nowadays retirement age of certain countries of keep delaying, right? So the lesser jobs being created. That means the our number of our selling market is keep reducing. Other one is aging population. Aging population is giving us two chances. One is a lot of silver products coming in. That means, right, uh, products for this age group of people getting popular now, like they're maybe uh, covering their medical home stay, or all these of products coming in, as well as it is creating a huge risk for the sorry, younger population, right? Because the older people, I mean, they are probably their income is getting lesser, but their medical expense is getting higher, right? Whereas income making people are the younger age group, but then in a way is either they subsidize for the older group people to cover, or no, these are the challenges coming into the products, right? Other one is decreasing fertility rate. Of course, nowadays the fertility rate in the European countries everywhere is getting reduced. Even those people like countries like India and China also, people do not want to have more children, right? So our selling market is reducing, whereas our risk is getting higher because the people age is getting, the life expectancy is getting higher, and all these other trends we are seeing, right? That people are moving towards from villages to there. A lot of people moving towards cities, right? These are the mega trends we are seeing. So we have to customize our product to all these needs, right? These are the some of the challenges. The based on the data, probably last time we are not able to see all this in more depth. In depth now we are seeing all these data in depth, and based on this, we are adjusting our markets to suit these needs, right? And okay, obviously, I mean, these are the certain, obviously, right, where are we using our data, automation and innovation, right? And new innovative products. And like, now you would see last time maybe like when you are in a certain company, the company will cover for your medical expenses, right? But whereas you switch the company, that insurance is gone, right? You need to move to another company, then your coverage starting from there, right? That company has to buy. Whereas the risk here is maybe you get older, you hit with some medical condition. So when you buying for another company, when they are trying to buy for you, the risk is getting higher and the insurance premium will be getting higher, right? So now we are introducing these portable medical products. Of course, this is in addition to a personal insurance. Even the companies also, right? We are introducing this portable insurance product. That means your medical insurance product will, will be, as long as your next company is also buying from us, right? Your existing coverage can be carried forward with you. That will make the product cheaper for the employers to buy for you, right? Then disruptions, right? Disruptive market is happening. Obviously, you can see a lot of disruptive marketing, right? Some of them can be uh, okay. Some of them could be more creating more opportunities. Some of them could be really uh, killing the other industry. Like for example, see, now I'm talking to you via Zoom and all those things. Like, what's the impact of it? I don't need to travel, right? Your air industry is affected, right? Air travel industry is affected. I don't need to travel. If I travel, let's say I travel to Chennai or Trichy, I may stay there in a hotel or whatever, right? All this is being disrupted because of this technologies like Zoom or the Microsoft Team meetings and all those things. Whereas other technologies like you take your Ola or your Airbnb, all those, right? They are they are pulling a lot of people together with them, right? For example, like Grab is our in Singapore, which is a travel industry, right? Like even those part-time travelers, no part-time drivers also can join. That means people like owning the car the weekend they can be a driver. So it is the addition. It is creating additional income. In addition, it is no, it is standard. In addition to creating a standard pricing across the market, it is pulling other people together to travel with them. Same as Airbnb also, right? Airbnb, you can rent your sorry room for travelers coming in. Whereas some innovations, like for example, we don't know where is our last time. We have our film cameras. Now the digital, all those totally destroying the market, right? And destroying one market, and they are coming in. So the disturbance, innovation and disruptions need to be balanced, and all these are the trends we are seeing. Continuous improvement, of course, I have all this data. I come out with a prescription and decisions and everything. Obviously, what is my what am I going to do with this data? I analyze the data. I know the pattern. I know the value of data. Everything is fine. If I'm not acting on it, nothing. No point. I'm having the data, right? So, which is use the data to design your product, or use as a company's driver part of driver company's business and company's growth, right? Of course, nowadays, the new trend is it has to be human centric. That is what I said last time. It is a product based design. Now it is customer based design, right? I'm not selling a product anymore. I am suiting my product for the customer. That is where the human centric design coming into picture. And yeah, consideration about our designs, right? Of course, I have this data. I can say, okay, my company or even my customers say I want to have this kind of products, or my salesperson or my CEO can say, okay, this is what I decide to have. But we as a data analytic person or whatever, right, or as IT person, we have to use this data, tell them what is the feasibility of doing that, and whether this is a viable product, viable solution to drive that, and are we ethically right to do that, right? Of course, all these are the new decisions. I mean, when using the data to decide, this is where we can help the companies to make the decisions, right? Mm. Yeah. This is what I have. I hope I give you some insight how the data is being used in the insurance industry. Yeah. You have any questions or anything to ask?
Sir, thank you. Thank you for the wonderful information and all that insights about industry, the insurance industry. What type of tools are you using for this different kinds of analysis you are doing? Descriptive, diagnostic, and prescriptive and predictive.
Okay, we have had to. Okay, what's happening is, right. We just I would say only last 2 to 3 years we started going in depth into it, right? So we do have our we are I would say we are still in the starting process of it in going to the prescriptive mode, right? As of now, basically, right, we use it for our pricing purpose, which is a pricing model we will be using. We do have our data lake, which we have our Python and other things that Hadoop we use to decide, that on that side to come to with some price models to decide, right? Yeah.
Okay, I see. So, how big the database you build with there, the data model? How big is the
Okay.
database? Yeah. How big the data?
How big the data is, right? Okay. You see, unlike other industry, I can't just keep destroy the data while I'm covering for life, right? It could be go into terabytes. For me, I need to cover for life, right? See, as a person, for example, nowadays when you buy even we are covering the kids before they born. For example, right, we have family insurance. When the lady is pregnant, right, they can buy the insurance. So it could be covering up to 99 years. So I have 99 years of data of each customer, right? So it's going to terabytes of data. Yeah. Mm.
Thank you, sir. Students, any questions?
Dear participants, if you have any queries or clarifications, so just use the chat box, unmute and directly ask to the guest speaker.
Sir,
Yes.
can you explain about zero
zero moment of truth, right? Zero moment of truth is like even you go to Amazon or any real online platform, right? The moment you are seeing the product or seeing the ad or seeing that product, you are deciding. You could have made your decision already. 50% of your decision you already made, right? That is what the customer mind says, right? You could have decided, okay, because you could be comparing against other companies as well, because unlike you are now that because of this digital media and online sales platform, you can easily compare product against any other industry or any against our peers, right? So the moment you comes in, I should give you the right impression for that my product, in my whether my price or my feature or anything about it, right? So there is no second opportunity for me to sell the product to you. So the moment you see my ad or the moment you look into log in my mobile apps or my online platform, I should give you the right info. That is where I was saying the veracity of the data come into picture. I should be able to do the right recommendation for you. The data I should have about you should be very right data, right? For example, you are logging to my website, I'm showing you your age wrongly or your address wrongly. I'm creating a very bad impression of my company against you. I mean, just giving a simple example, right? So you made a decision on my company already, right? I can't keep your data, your age properly. I can't keep your address properly. How can I cover you? I create a very wrong impression on my company, on your customer already, right? So any digital platform you go in, that you made a decision of my company already, right? So I should give you a very accurate and very truthful data about you and a recommendation for you. Otherwise, you can go. You got 20 over insurance companies in India. It's not, ICICI. I can go to other company, right? I'm just saying an example, right? Yeah. So I can't be like I can't be overpricing for you. I can't be there is no all this. That's not possible anymore. I should be very right on my data. I should be very right on my pricing.
I see.
Yeah. Mm.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. This is Dr. Ella Arokyam.
Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I'm
Thank
good,
you.
good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
giving.
probably. Yeah, probably I didn't do talking. I mean, I do my companies. One could be like very not an educational talker. So I hope I give some sense of data and some impression useful for
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
yeah. You
It
have
is
given
useful. Yeah.
very useful, application domain oriented. I think our students would have been enlightened with the
Mm.
LIC, sorry, the insurance company
Insurance industries. Yeah.
related
Mm.
data. And
It's a
Yeah,
yeah.
actually, I didn't go into that insurance details because I do not want to use you as a salesperson. That's not my job. Yeah, so I didn't go into details, of course. Yeah.
No,
and
it's a very
also,
yeah.
yeah, you have also highlighted the importance of the data science tools and techniques
Mhm.
in the industry. Thank you. Could you tell us the various job opportunities in this particular field, national and international level?
Definitely, data analytics is one of the field. We need a lot of data engineers. Other one is, as I said, this industry moving towards more of digitalization now, right? Everybody's competing with each other in a way, like nowadays, like it is no more a salesperson or a insurance agent coming to you and sell a product. You have a lot of ways to look into product, and so digital area, and basically you can develop a mobile apps or mobile. If you're familiar with user interface design and mobile industry, cloud migrations, and of course the data science, right? Cloud migration, especially for the banks and the insurance industry, right? See, these are the companies using the data for years, right? So whatever new platform, whatever you have, I can guarantee you 60 to 70% of this company's data is still in mainframe. Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So
See,
all this we are
uh,
looking into how do I move out of this mainframe, right? Yeah, we are looking into that. Yeah.
thank you, Rajesh. Bert, over to Bert.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rajesh. It's a wonderful one. I feel like we got such a 360-degree view of how the data is being used and handled in the industry. It's a very huge industry, and this is for the students. I'm telling this is a very huge industry. Right from whatever I use, may I take say, mouse pad, my mouse, TV, sofa, my house. People even insure their legs, hands, fingers, all this kind of life insurance. So everything is wherever you go, whatever you buy, there's insurance there. So it's very huge industry, and all this also is booming up a lot nowadays. Um, and he has given the very good insight of the different type of analysis they are using and the tools they are using and the regulations and what kind of governance they need. He touched upon that. This definitely it's useful for as a data scientist. If I'm a data scientist, I need to know first what is the business model, how the data is being used, where the data is being stored, and all that. So he has given that those uh, details, insights, how practical